I will call the council meeting of July 9th, 2025 to order. Will you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call roll.
Foster, Madden, Perry, Bilski,
Here.
From the July 9th, 2025 council meeting. Is there a second? Can you call roll?
Foster, Madden,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Allner,
Yes.
Silver.
Yes. I will make a motion to excuse Councilmember Lisa Perry from the July 9th, 2025 council meeting. Is there a second? Thank you. Jeff? Anna?
Foster,
Yes.
Madden, Bilski,
Yes.
Allner, Silver.
Yes. Is there a motion to confirm the appointment of Christine Kalinick as Finance Administrator? Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Dana, you want to handle this one?
Yes, Chris Kalinick is here with us tonight, and we are really pleased to have her join the Finance Department. Her previous experience, she worked for a CPA firm as the controller for over 12 years. Prior to that, she worked her way up there, doing everything from bookkeeping, et cetera. So we're extremely fortunate to have someone with her caliber joining our team in the Finance Department. So if anybody happens to stop on in and see her in our quaint and a little crowded office space, that she'll be right inside the door there. Stop and say hi and introduce her, but we're welcome to have her as part of our team.
Very nice. Welcome.
Not yet.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? All right, Anna, please call roll.
Foster,
Yes.
Madden,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Allner,
Yes.
Silver.
Yes. You want to come up? I think the mayor will administer the oath of office for you.
Come on down. So we want you to turn so we can face the camera. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. You solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Ohio, the rules, regulation, and charter of Orange Village, and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge my duties as a finance administrator of Orange Village, State of Ohio, during my continuance in said office. Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Hand this off when you get to keep one, and hand the other one to Anna when you get down to the end of the table there. Sign that one too. Very good. You might want to go down the dais and welcomed by the rest of the council.
Oh, I don't have to show.
A bit earlier. Yeah.
Moving on, is there a motion to approve the special council meeting minutes of June 4th, 2025?
Make a motion.
Thank you, Ryan. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? All right, Anna.
Foster, Madden,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Allner,
Abstain.
Silver.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve the council meeting minutes of June 11th, 2025? I'll make that motion. Is there a second? Any questions or comments on them? All right, Anna, please call roll.
Foster,
Yes.
Madden,
Abstain?
Bilski,
Yes.
Abstain.
Silver.
Yes. Did we get enough on that?
We got 3.
That's not enough.
What,
You need 4. Need 4 for that.
if I wasn't there?
Allowed to vote, yeah.
You can vote for it. It's customary not to, because,
Okay, I'll vote, what is the wording, please? And can you re-vote or not?
yeah, just say aye and she'll
Yeah.
get you.
Okay. I apologize.
Your vote.
Changing my vote.
Thank you.
I apologize, I didn't realize that I could if I
Yeah.
was not there.
Moving on, is there a motion to approve the treasurer's reports for May of 2025?
Motion?
Thank you. I will second that. No, Madden, Phil Madden.
Bill?
Dana.
Okay, you have the cash account summary for May 31st that shows our account balances from all our bank accounts at $18,447,000. You have our summary of the month and year-to-date for the month of May, and May revenues from all sources and all funds are $1,825,000, and May expenditures for all funds is $1,483,000. And it was all normal monthly collections and expenditures, nothing out of the ordinary for notation. You have the general fund revenue and expenditure line items through May 31st. And we're at 42% or 5/12 of the year, and our total revenues is almost 47% of budget, and our collections is just under 37% of budget. Items of notation is that in the general fund miscellaneous RETA revenue, we received our refund. Once a year, we get a refund of prior year payments that we've had deducted from our account to cover costs of operations for RETA. And then once a year, RETA gives us a refund of any overages based on actual expenditures. So we got $150,000 refunded to us in May. The only other thing that I wanted to point out that was unusual is that on the second page on Department 7020, which is the Finance Department, under operating expenses, you have about $455,000 in the month of May, and that's a result of our annual Pinecrest income tax sharing. So once a year, based on the prior year's income tax collections for Pinecrest, we make a calculation, and that's how much money we give them every May. So that's reported in the month of May. That's all I had.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments? No. Please call roll on the treasurer's report.
Foster, Madden,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Allner,
Yes.
Silver.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve the tax administrator's reports for May of 2025? Thank you. I will second that. Dana?
Okay, so you have the income tax collection report for May 31st, and gross collections for the month of May from all of our sources is $1,221,000, which is about $158,000 higher than May of 2024. That is primarily as a result of a large estimate that we received towards next year's net profits that we received that month. So that's the reason for the larger than normal revenue collection. And we're about $425,000 over year-to-date from 2024. Also note that at the bottom, I have that retainer refund that I mentioned, the RETA refund, showing the distribution between Orange Village and the Chagrin Highlands. And the cost of collections was 0.95% for Orange Village and 0.77%. That's the estimated cost of collections to their operations, and I've given you a history of 2023 and 2024, and 2025's calculation is pretty much in line with where we were in 2023. And then you have the graphs that show the monthly calculations and our year-to-date.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments? All right, Anna, please call roll.
Foster, Madden,
Yes.
Bilski,
Yes.
Allner,
Yes.
Silver.
Yes. Discussion of the bills to be paid in the month of July in the amount of $492.38, and additional June expenses in the amount of $115,804.15. Any questions on these or comments? All right, hearing none. Moving on. Any audience comments relating to agenda items? One. Sign-in sheet over there. Oh.
Amanda Kurland, 150 Valencia Circle. You can find me. I just want to say, as you are considering ordinances 2025-18 and 2025-20, I just want you to think about that when the voters voted for the zoning change in Orange Place South for the Omni development, it was with the understanding that they were getting 37-plus acres of park. So that's all. Thank you.
We are getting it.
Thank you.
How you get it?
Audience comments related to agenda items? Old business, ordinance 2025-17 as amended, an ordinance to adopt the solid waste management plan for the Cuyahoga County Solid Waste Management District and declaring an emergency. This is on for third reading. Any questions or comments on this before we vote on it? All right, Anna, please call roll.
No, we have some, we need to.
Motion, I'm sorry. Is there a motion to approve 2025-17?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. We'll give Jeff the second.
Foster. Madden.
Yes.
Bilski.
Yes.
Allner.
Yes.
Silver.
Yes. Ordinance 2025-18, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with CVG LLC, the Western Reserve Land Conservancy, to purchase property located in the village of Orange. This is on for second reading. And this is the, 2 acres, I believe it is, carved out for a potential fire department. Any questions? We discussed this last month. This is on for second reading. We're not voting on it today. Any questions or comments? Mayor, do you have anything to add on this?
No, we've gone over this before. In order for us to have the opportunity to potentially locate the fire station, future fire station, up at the corner of Brainerd and Harvard, we have to carve out that area from the Conservancy because we can't get it, we won't get it later. So this was an opportunity to do it now, and the cost of it is very reasonable for the property that we would need. And if we decide not to build the fire station, then we just tie it back into the conservation easement.
Okay. Questions or comments? Moving on, ordinance 2025-19, an ordinance amending the annual appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of Orange Village during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2025. It's on for second reading. I believe we're looking for a suspension of the rules on this one as well. Dana, any further comments on this one?
I know at the last meeting I went through the line items. I'll try and just summarize that the changes include the purchase of the new police vehicle that was mostly being reimbursed by the insurance claim that was already previously discussed and approved by council. There was also the purchase of the land that was previously discussed and approved by council. And there was a few other minor little adjustments that were put on some of the accounts as we were going through and looking at where we stand right now to where we might be. So, but the 2 biggest items were things that council had already discussed and approved, but they weren't in the budget, so this amendment updates that.
Any questions or comments? Motion to suspend the rules on 2025-19. Is there a second on the suspension of the rules? Thank you. Who is that, Phil? Thank you. Anna, please call roll on suspension of the rules.
Foster. Madden.
Yes.
Bilski.
Yes.
Allner.
Yes.
Silver.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2025-19? Thank you, Jeff. Is there a second? I will make the second. Anna, please call roll.
Foster. Madden.
Yes.
Bilski.
Yes.
Allner.
Yes.
Silver.
Yes. All right, moving on. Ordinance 2025-20, an ordinance authorizing an agreement with CVG LLC, the Western Reserve Land Conservancy, to purchase property located in Orange Village for the purpose of preserving 35 acres as a passive park. This is on for second reading. related to what you just discussed? Anything further on this?
And I guess an opportunity to at least clarify something. The intention is for this land to come to Orange Village hopefully as a future park. It has to go through a preservation process, and this is how we get to the acquisition of that property.
Looking for suspension of the rules here today, are we?
No.
Okay. Any questions or comments? All right, we will vote on this in August. We have no new business. Are there any audience comments related to matters which advance the good of the village?
It'll be Amanda Kurland of 150 Valencia Circle.
Move since the last time you spoke?
Not in the last few minutes. I just wanted to remind everyone that the Orange Community Artisan and Farmers Market is this Saturday, and the reason I'm doing it specifically is because my committee, which is the Sustainability and Resilience Committee, will be there, and there will be a compost bin being raffled off. Exciting stuff. So I hope everyone can make it. Thank you.
Hopefully it won't rain like it has every other market this summer, so.
Rainy.
Audience comments? Okay, Mayor Klein, what do you got for us?
Okay, we have a good deal of stuff to cover here. Playing off of what Amanda just said, again, reminding people that we have the Artisan and Farmers Market from July 12th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. In the Service Department parking lot. Please make an attempt to come. I have to tell you that the vendors are just exceptional, and they have great stuff. Many times I've been told not to buy anything, and I come home with a bag full of stuff. We have tomorrow night music at the amphitheater at 6:30 p.m. featuring the musical duo Two Left Standing. The weather is inclement. We may move indoors into the console chambers. The Lander Circle Kiwanis Rummage Sale is Thursday, July 17th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then on Friday, July 18th from 5 to 8 and Saturday, July 19th from 10 to 3. Branch chipping is Monday, July 21st. Please place your branches out for pickup by 7 a.m. on Monday. Orange Village received a grant from the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency for the purchase of 2 water fountains and a refill and pet station. They have been installed in the park near the bathroom and playground. They're up and running, and they have been thoroughly tested by both humans and dogs. Summer of Kindness. Kindland is sponsoring the Summer of Kindness Challenge. Adults and children can participate by completing the challenge board and submitting your entries by August 22nd. Mark off any or all of the acts of kindness completed. Each act will receive a raffle entry to win amazing prizes. Get your Summer of Kindness Challenge board from our website by downloading the Just Be Kind app or pick one up at Orange Village Hall here. A little early, but never too early to promote the next concert at the amphitheater. August 21st will feature the band Replay. I hope you'll make that. They're a lot of fun. The Party in the Park is coming up on July 26th, beginning at 6:30 p.m. Enjoy rocket ship rides, inflatables, food trucks, and much more. The evening will end with our fabulous drone show. It's an exceptional program. Everybody has loved it last year. If you loved it last year, you'll love it more this year. As many of you have seen, we have the new speed signs up and running in Orange Village. And I'm going to sort of flip this one over to Chief Roberts to give us a report as to what it's telling us it's happening as a result of it.
Sure. And I have all this I can email to you if you don't want to type everything I'm about to say. It's kind of a bullet point thing, so I'll just run down the quick chronology of how this whole thing happened. On May 2nd, we received our signs we used funds to purchase them 8 speed signs that we were awarded the Cuyahoga County Supplemental Grant for. That project has been executed fully. Most of the heavy lifting done by the Service Department, Bob Zugan, he got them assembled right away and installed. And Patrolman Josh Woodrich, he was really the heavy lifter inside the police department on getting this project done. So I wanted to thank both of them for that. On May 2nd, we received the signs. On June 9th, the Service Department installed them. On June 10th, we turned off the displays, but we're capturing the data, and we did that for a 15-day period to see what we had before we turn them on. And then we're almost done with the 15-day period with the displays on now. I have a snapshot of 7 days with it off and 7 days with it on, and this one here is the site at 29749 Harvard. And in the 7-day period where the signs were on and displaying, we're seeing the speeds from 46 miles an hour to 50 miles an hour. We have 115 cars less going that fast with the cameras on and the displays on. I mean the displays on, not cameras. More impressively, 41 to 45 miles an hour, we have 751 less cars going that fast. And from 36 to 40, we're up 692 cars.
Oh.
So we're getting exactly what we were hoping we would. It's even surprised me a little. So with that quick snapshot of the data, I just wanted to tell you where we're at with that project. We have turned in all of the appropriate paperwork to the county, and we are waiting for them to reimburse us now.
Nice work.
Chief. The last thing is going to be a little lengthy, but it's important. As Orange Village intends to design and construct a new fire station located on a parcel at the southwest corner of Harvard and Brainerd Roads, and also plans to remodel, renovate, and repurpose the Village Hall to accommodate future requirements of the police department and administration and community facilities, the mayor's office requested architectural firms with experience in the planning and design of these facilities to submit qualifications for consideration to assist the village in developing a preliminary design concept for both and budgets for both. With submission of responses to the request for qualifications, the review committee has met to evaluate the firms and provide the council an informed recommendation for the selection of the architect or architects to be considered to lead the projects. Therefore, we will engage a firm or firms that can interpret the needs and desires of the community, translate them into a built form that meets the requirements of our departments, and then provide a budget to enable the village to determine funding strategy for these projects. The recommendations of the review committee are for the fire station and village hall projects need to be designed and budgeted simultaneously. So there is some efficiency in having one architect for the fire station and one for the village hall to determine the total funding package required. Expertise of the various firms will bring to the village an opportunity to gain a wider perspective and insight for the project. The firms can work with the village design team as a collective and then pursue the individual projects. Downside of having two firms is that the village team will need to participate in multiple meetings to develop the project. The architects will assist the village in considering the project delivery methodology as either a design bid build, construction manager at risk, integrated project delivery, or design build. We request to present the detailed findings in a special council work session to consider determination of a final short list of architects, schedule for prospective interviews by council to consider the selection, and then the selected architects will provide a fee proposal for the specific project that will then be reviewed by both the law director and presented to council for legislative action. I have sent out notifications to the architects. We had originally invited 7 firms to participate. 5 responded with qualifications, and we have evaluated those 5, and we'll be reporting to council in this special meeting.
I have a question. This initially 7 firms were invited to submit credentials. Was this not publicly posted so that any firm could submit? Is there a reason for that, that we did not make that publicly available?
There was a specific intelligence for this. As you know, I am an architect and have been the president of the AIA Cleveland organization. I know the architects that do this kind of work, that have the qualifications that are appropriate for us to consider. And I reached out to those 7 that I think would be the best match for Orange Village. And therefore, we invited those 7 rather than opening it up. I also felt it was really important that we have local firms involved in this. And if you open it up to general consideration, you'll get people from anywhere. And I think it's important that a project that is local to Cleveland and local to our community should be developed and designed by local talent. And so therefore, that's why we did what we did.
I obviously respect your years of experience in this area, but I respectfully disagree and do believe that when we have a big project, it's my opinion that we do need to open these things up for publicly so that anyone could submit. I'm not suggesting that we rig, that they'll be successful. I don't know who would be successful, but I do think that's important, and so I respectfully disagree.
Any other questions or comments on it? Well, that concludes my report.
All right, thank you, Mayor. A couple things on my end. In light of yet another water main break on Miles Road over the weekend, is there any update on getting the replacement?
Contractor was on site today. I spoke with the Solon inspector on site as well. They mobilized. They were doing the saw cutting. They have intention of removing the pavement, putting in the stone and LSM, which is a type of concrete, to the top. Friday, they plan on then pouring the concrete, and based on that, they don't have a time when it will be open, but hopefully by the end of this weekend, it'll be open both ways.
Is there any update on the larger replacement project of the whole thing?
These have been resubmitted to Cleveland Water Department. They're at the 90% stage. They forwarded that on this week by my request to see where they are. The village engineer and myself will be taking a look at that 90% completion and see if we have any comment there. So that being said, we don't really have a timeline. CWD has to review that. It's got to go to 100%, and then obviously they need to determine City of Solon, their financing, and when this will actually go out to bid.
The way it sounds like.
Hopefully it's going to be done this year. I'm a little hesitant, and that being said, myself and the village engineer spoke, because just a reminder, we received a $250,000 award for the county for the repaving of Miles Road. That was supposed to be in '26. Our intention was to have the water main done this year, and they would do a temporary cap while it's settled, and then we, in turn, would have the best road possible, because, if there is any settling there. So we will monitor that and reach out to the county as needed when the time's appropriate.
I appreciate you trying to push us forward. I know a lot of it's out of your hands, so I appreciate your efforts here.
Wait, I'm sorry. Is anybody still impacted, actually, or it was like there was a Band-Aid for now, and...
No, the water was restored a couple hours. They were able to isolate that area with the valving at Brainerd Road and Naaman Parkway, so there was very, very few impacted for long term.
It just needs like a larger fix or larger repair for the long term?
They clarify what you're asking on the fix itself.
Yeah.
It was about a 10-foot piece of pipe that had to be done. They need to take out, Solon's going to take out about 85 feet of their lane that has to be redone. I will be on site tomorrow, and I'll engage the engineer if we have to. But until that pavement's removed, I don't know how much undermining is done on our side of the road. If that's a fact, and when there is something there, we will look and process whether we will put LSM, which will be flowable underneath there to fill the voids, because the plan is that area is where the water main would be going in. And I don't think it's appropriate that the village be spending repair money on something that's going to get taken out. So we will look how we temporarily manage that repair.
Cause? Did you figure out the cause of the break, or?
Summertime, you get expansion. I mean, July 4th isn't new to us. We've had a July 4th break
Really?
years ago.
The old tradition.
So same old trick, the fireworks, boom, there we go.
Fireworks, we have water main breaks instead. One other question for you. There's been a lot of chatter on the Orange Hill Facebook page about coyotes in the neighborhood, and one resident reached out to me about it. He had the remains of a deer in his yard that had clearly been victimized by a coyote. Is there anything that can be done to deter them, or is that just on a house-by-house basis?
We have stuff, I believe, on our website. I know myself and the police department have engaged in this problem before. Some of the stuff simply is, they're drawn to food. So make sure your garbage cans are closed, make sure there's nothing loose out there, watch smaller animals, sometimes bird feeders, stuff like that. Typically, if you make noise, flashlights, banging, stuff, they'll go ahead and leave. But, we've had them in the park. I actually just contacted the police chief probably about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. It's the first time I've seen one during the day come across a soccer field. So typically they're more afraid of humans. I can't say that for every occasion, but it's hard to chase. If anybody's concerned, recommend them that they look at our website, and if they have any further questions, they can call us and we'll put them in contact with animal control that can sort of give them a little history if needed. So.
Follow up on that. So deer carcass is I asked this because there was in our neighborhood, there was a dead, I don't know what it was a smaller animal, and there seemed to be some concern among some of the residents in our area that they were concerned that the service department wouldn't come onto a private property, a house, property to pick up this dead animal, which I personally have done them in my own yard because they're little and you can do it. But the deer carcass, how does that get picked up? Because that's,
I don't know, I didn't ask that.
I'm just,
I think that one was close to the road. We actually went up there, and it was reported by us through the police department. And by the time we got up there, there was no more deer carcass, so I don't know if it was dragged away. Even the resident came out and looked around, and it was gone, so.
Okay.
I was just curious because, a big one I couldn't handle.
I've got another follow-up to this animal conversation. We've been seeing, in 10 years we've been in our house, I never see skunks in the daytime, but we see them all the time now, just walking around, crossing the street. Skunks.
Stay away from them.
Yeah, that's the best. I just was curious if you've gotten any other calls about skunks in the area.
I have not. Every now and then you'll get a random one, something, they like to bed down. Make habits underneath decks and porches and stuff like that. Again, typically it's when they're having their babies that they're sort of protective there. But
backyard's just very comfortable.
If anything, if our animal control, not to keep this story going, but animal control covers anything that would engage into a house that would create an emergency. The greatest example I can say is if a deer breaks through a glass door and is running around in your house. A typical animal underneath your shed, underneath your deck, raccoon down the chimney, that's on the homeowner. That's not what our animal control covers.
That's helpful guidance. Thank you.
Skunks, though, because there's a lot of habitat being taken down for housing to be built.
That's interesting.
That is all that I had. Comments by council members. Mr. Foster.
Don't turn that mic off.
Asking about the soccer field / football field, how they tried to use it, and it seemed slightly unserviceable or less than ideal, whatever you want to call it. Is there anything that can be done to update or make it less flashy?
We'd have to regrade the whole area. It's got some drainage around. That's, with all the rain, we've had some areas that are pretty wet. Ironically, the soccer field's being reserved and used tonight. So we can take a look at it. We've rolled it in the past, but it would be some quite extensive work to get it drained, perfect. We have.
And Chief, I have a question for you, sir. Any update on the mailbox situation?
No, we took a report last week, or maybe it was the week before now. In the middle of the night, somebody set a mailbox on fire on your street and also tried to do it to a second one. We've been working with our partners over at Pepper Pike and Moreland Hills, as they've had similar instances, although their mailbox exploded, our mailbox burned. It's currently under investigation by the Detective Bureau. I can get back with you with a full follow-up on where we're at with it, but I do know we don't have any current new information.
All right.
But it just goes back to see something, say something, somebody walking around, call the police, we'd rather go, maybe you and I talk to them, if they'll talk to us, things like that at 2 in the morning. If your motion sensors go off, cameras, whatever. There's never a bad time to call the police department, call us, we'll come out and look.
Mr. Madden.
I have nothing to add this week.
All right. Mr. Bilski.
One more animal question. Are there any rules against the types of dogs or animals? This was specifically related to dogs, but any animals too that homeowners are allowed to have in the village.
I think that better addressed by the law director.
Oh my, things of that character.
What about a pit bull?
Pit bulls are permitted.
Yeah.
If there are, we do have a dangerous dog ordinance, which if the dogs are, if the dog is, I think there's still the one free bite, Chief, you recall? Free bite. Yeah, that's the old civil rule.
Yeah.
That you couldn't sue somebody for a dog that bit somebody.
They do it twice.
For the first one, but the second time, that's
Interesting. Okay.
Do
But
dogs know this rule, so they make it count?
maybe that if they have a good lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add, as someone who has a mutt that has some pit
Yeah.
in him, and as someone who had a German Shepherd,
Yeah.
these dogs can be wonderful, very friendly, amazing dogs. It is what the owners
Yeah. Yeah.
train them or allow from them.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah.
So, they get a bad rap, and I will say that my dogs were, my Shepherd was amazing, and my Pitty right now is the sweetest thing ever.
Yeah.
So,
All right, good to know. I was just curious, but there's something along those lines in the ordinance.
We have wild, dangerous, or undomesticated animals prohibited.
But enough.
There's a state law on dogs, which I don't prosecute, so I'm not familiar with it.
all dog owners are supposed to register their dogs with the county, and they're supposed to ensure that the dogs have had their rabies vaccination. And I will say that if there is a bite, and I say this as someone who was bit by someone else's dog, which was not a pit bull or a shepherd, you should cooperate with your neighbor who was bit, and you should, make sure that the records are shown that they had their rabies shot and, all that, because you want to be kind to your neighbor, and it's an unfortunate thing. Any animal can bite. It can happen if they get scared or, but all dog owners are supposed to maintain their dogs on leash. They're supposed to make sure that they've had their vaccinations and that they're registered. And I don't think it matters what kind of dog. I mean, they're all supposed to be registered.
In the event of a bite, it's a mandatory reporting to the health department. Anyone seeking medical attention, the medical provider is required, the mandatory reporters get their leave. And then a 10-day quarantine is mandated by the county. It can be done in-house as long as the dog's on leave the whole time. And have the rate this vaccination up to standard within 24 hours of the reported virus.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other animal questions, Ryan?
I am done with my animal questions for the night.
Full comment.
I have no non-animal comments either.
Zollner.
Thank you. So, the Kiwanis rummage sale, as was mentioned, is the 17th and 18th, right? You'll look it up and you'll correct me, I'm sure, as I'm talking, to be efficient. But Sunday, July, it's Thursday and Friday and Saturday, whatever those dates are.
17, 18, 19.
Okay, so the Sunday, which is the
20th.
20th, thank you, we are looking for volunteers. Because one of the things that we are doing is bagging up all of the clothes and shoes that do not sell, and then those are going to be purchased by the pound, so that keeps them out of a landfill, gets them to people that can use them, and then that adds to the proceeds from the sale. And as you all know, because I've said it a million times, the Kiwanis proceeds help our schools tremendously with lots of different clubs and activities, with scholarships. I mean, it's just a great organization. So for Sunday, July 20th, I am looking for volunteers. Kiwanis is looking for volunteers to help bag up the clothes. And, you know, it's a great opportunity for adults, but it's also a good opportunity for kids to get some community service hours in. So please, you know, hit me up if you can help. The next Orange Cares meeting will be September 9th at 7 p.m. So there is no August meeting. I just want to make sure that that's down there. I contacted Chief Roberts regarding the Blue Envelopes Initiative, or Blue Envelope Program. I learned about it from the Brooklyn Heights Police, and the chief is looking into it for us. It sounds like a program which would be great for not just our community, but all communities. It's basically a police initiative designed to improve communication and safety during traffic stops for drivers with autism or other conditions that may cause communication difficulties. So basically, there's a blue envelope that essential documents like your driver's license, vehicle registration, and insurance information, along with instructions for the police officer, are in the blue envelope. If someone is stopped for speeding or whatever, they can hand this blue envelope to the officer, and the officer knows from the information in the envelope, you know, maybe it's a deaf person, or it's just someone who has communication issues, and is a great way to ensure that our police are informed and can deal with the person appropriately. So I think it sounds like a great program, and I know the chief has agreed to look into it for us. It seems like something that, you know, the more communities that look into it, the better, you know, for people with these issues. So I just want to thank you for your willingness to look into it, and I know you'll report back when you have something to report. And then the final thing is just, obviously, all of our thoughts and prayers are with those affected by the flash floods in Texas. It's horrific, and every parent's nightmare is to, you know, has been playing out. So, you know, with the summer heat and everybody, you know, sometimes people fly off the handle about the little things. So I'll try to remember that, you know, be thankful that our own kids are safe, and keep the people in Texas in our thoughts and prayers, because there's a lot more people who haven't even been found yet, and I suspect won't be found in good condition. And, you know, it's just a horrific thing. So that's it.
Thank you very much. That is all that we have today, so I will adjourn the council meeting of July 9th, 2025.